Amidst Donald Trump's threat to bomb Iran if it refuses to reach a deal with Washington to curb its nuclear program, the United States, interestingly, has been amassing stealth bombers at the Diego Garcia military base in the Indian Ocean. Now, according to satellite imagery, at least about 3 B-2 Spirit bombers have already arrived at the strategic US-UK outpost. Now, these stealth bombers flew in from Whiteman Air Force Base in United States' Missouri. While media reports claim that 4 more jets are on their way to the island, the B-2 stealth aircraft are used for precision strikes that can evade air defense systems. Now, Diego Garcia Island, which is roughly about 700 kilometers south of the Maldives, puts both Iran and Yemen in range of the US fighter planes, as Iran is around 5,300 kilometers away and Houthis' territory in Yemen is about 4,000 kilometers from the island. In response to the US war preparations and Trump's threat, a top Iranian commander has warned that the United States bases and forces in the West Asia region are vulnerable against a possible retaliatory attack by Iran.
The Americans have at least 10 bases and 50,000 forces near Iran. This means they are sitting in a glass room. Someone sitting in a glass room would not throw rocks at others.
The warning came just a day after Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei vowed to respond to any act of aggression against Iran, as Tehran has rejected the ultimatum and threats issued by the United States about its nuclear program. Now, according to reports, the Iranian armed forces have called for a preemptive strike if needed on the Diego Garcia military base before the United States uses it to target the Islamic Republic. The discussions on such preemptive strikes intensified amongst the Iranian military commanders after the United States deployed its bombers on the island. Recently, the Aerospace Division of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps unveiled its Missile City, claiming that it is just one amongst the hundreds of such facilities in the country. However, Iran's longest-range missiles are reportedly capable of striking targets up to 2,000 kilometers. Currently, Iran does not have an intercontinental ballistic missile, that is the ICBM. The longest-range weapon to hit targets over 5,500 kilometers, though the head of U.S. Strategic Command, General Anthony Cotton, during a hearing before the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee, recently said that Iran's ongoing work on space launch vehicles can actually reduce the time that is needed in manufacturing an ICBM if needed by the Iranians. All right, now to give us more perspective in terms of what is happening and why the Americans are carrying out this build-up on the Diego Garcia Islands, we're joined by Mr. Chris Doyle, who is the Director of Council for Arab-British Understanding. Mr. Doyle, thank you very much indeed for joining us on this broadcast and beyond. So let me in fact start off by asking you this. What do you think is driving this American build-up in the Diego Garcia Islands? Is this preparation for some kind of a preemptive attack on Iran, or is this posturing on part of the Americans?
It could be a number of things. I think that at the moment it looks like it is part of President Trump's maximum pressure campaign. He has started to impose harsher sanctions on Iran. He has issued stern warnings about Iranian actions in the region. And at the same time, he has also written to the Iranian leadership saying that there should be talks about how to resolve the outstanding issues, including Iran's nuclear weapons program, and that therefore he is offering a choice. If you don't wish to engage in proper negotiations, then the US, perhaps with the assistance of Israel, will consider military action. So I think that there is a lot of bluster at the moment. It's very hard to tell what is bluster from actual intent.
Now, a number of American allies, a lot of these Arab nations within the region have said that they will not give the Americans the access to use the bases that they have there if attacks on Iran is what the United States wants to carry out. How do you think the United States will overcome this? Because a lot of these Arab nations are saying that if there is an attack on Iran, then a lot of these Arab nations will not have drinking water because of nuclear contamination.
It's far too early to speculate on that, but yes, there is a lot of nervousness amongst Arab states. Remember that Qatar has the US's largest base in the Middle East, but there are other ones as well. But US has, plenty of platforms and bases, including at Diego Garcia. It also has access to non-Middle Eastern bases that it could use, as well as, of course, an extensive aircraft carrier fleet. Of course, it does depend on the sort of nature of military operations that the US considers that it's going to engage in. Is this going to be a full-scale war that will go on for months and months? Or is it going to be a series of strikes? So we're in the days of real speculation here. I think what's really important is that all those who don't want to see such a devastating war break out exert whatever pressure, encouragement to all parties to get round the table and to sort this out, because the consequences of a military escalation for the world, quite frankly, would be huge.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Doyle, for joining us with that perspective there.
A pleasure.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.